spent a lot of my childhood watching game shows. From the old Price is Right to Scrabble with Chuck Woolery and his hair, to old reruns of What's My Line and Beat the Clock while I was up late at night at college, I've always had a fondness for the idea of winning cash and prizes in front of a live studio audience just for knowing that luxation is another word for dislocation. But game shows, like any other form of media, have their also-rans. For every Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, there's a Smush, Perfect Match, or Bobcat's Big-Ass Show. The only solid memory I have of win, lose, or draw is that a fly flew into a contestant's eye once, prompting a response from the show's medical personnel. For whatever reason, they kept the cameras rolling. I can't even begin to understand why. Anyway, this is a video game about that game show, which is kind of like charades with a big pad of paper. You draw things, and your team has to guess what you've drawn. As can be expected, this can all go pear-shaped if A, your artistic skills make some elephants look like Rembrandt, or B, your team are all dumb as posts. But this requires actually drawing on a pad. How the hell, then, could this gameplay work on the NES? Very, very carefully. From the config screen, you can set the number of teams, whether you want the drawings to be automatic or manual, and the difficulty of the puzzles. You've got a couch on either side of the screen. Yes, those are couches. This is an 80s game show after all. Everything has to look like it's in a house somewhere. Anyway, the computer, or the player on the second controller, will begin to draw based on the clue provided, and in the case of manual control, that'll require everyone in the room averting their eyes for approximately 3 hours. Once you've got a good idea of the solution, just type it in using the pad at the bottom of the screen. The lower difficulties show the number of letters in the response, and if there are any spaces, while the higher settings omit this for the sake of challenge. That said, if you complete a word that's in the clue, the game will recognize it and place it in the answer for you. There even seems to be some word correction here, but I wouldn't want to test the extent of it. So, yeah, that's about it. Rather than being a game into and of itself, it seems more a means of facilitating a game of win, lose, or draw in an existing gathering of people. Because let's face it, this is an NES game from High-Tech Expressions. They weren't exactly known for their AI programming, especially in the high-tech world of drawing recognition. Throwing that out the window, you're left with the video game equivalent of a paper and pencil. Oh, and a scorekeeper. That's really all you're getting here. The only element of the single-player game is trying to interpret the computer's attempts to draw things. Maybe I should just draw on the game itself and spare my NES the humiliation.